Coming up on Flowing into Awareness with Master Intuitive Anatara, taking a fresh look at karma. What is karma? How do you think it affects you? How do you choose to work with karma? This and more coming up next as we celebrate our new platform here on YHTV. This week's episode is brought to you by Support the Mountains Herbal Parasite Cleanse. This formula targets the small and large intestinal tracts and larvae, the most broad-spectrum formula available today. 100% organic, formulated by Dr. Mikio Sankey, author of the Esoteric Acupuncture series. For 10% off your first bottle, visit shopyogahub.com and use the coupon code CLEANSE at checkout. Hello and welcome to YHTV's Flowing into Awareness with visionary and master intuitive Anatara. I'm Christina Suzama, your host for this program. Today's topic is Take a Fresh Look at Karma. And here we have with us the beautiful Anatara.
Hello, Christina. Nice to see you.
Hello, Anatara. It's so great to be back together again.
It truly is. There's been so much sharing that has been wanting to come through, and now it will.
Oh, well, look out, everyone. She's ready to go. Let it flow, Anatara.
I absolutely. I am ready to let it flow. And first, as you were saying, a fresh look at karma. I watch so many people put themselves out into the world, and they attempt something, and then they say to me, did I blow that? Was I right? Was I wrong? And they immediately turn their experiences and their actions into this deep self-analysis that doesn't take them to any sort of progressive or creative understanding. So when we look at what we've always thought about karma, our actions are countered by, they're reflected by a reaction or a response from around us. If we do something truly mean and nasty, then something mean and nasty will eventually come full circle and get us again. Then there's the kind of karma that we call instant karma. I was really, really mean to you at work, and I betrayed you to the boss, and then very quickly we find out that someone has done something similar to us. So the idea of karmic, the cycles of karma, the way karma cycles back to us when we learn about what we are thinking or doing, it's real. It's valid. It's the way that our lives, it's the way that spirit, it's the way that the universe, it's the way that the angels have to balance things. We learn through our actions. And I've really noticed with some of my clients that they are holding themselves back. They're holding themselves in check from actually trying something, because they think in their minds that they're going to get it wrong. And that if they get it wrong, if they make the wrong move or say the wrong thing to someone, that there will be karmic implications, on them. So I'm noticing that with all of the energetic and spiritual sort of tones that are happening around us more and more all the time, we're paying more attention. Everybody is paying more attention, but those tones are starting to make people think that perhaps it's dangerous to try something, or perhaps it's dangerous to experiment, and that that's painful. I watch beautiful people, excuse me, being afraid to take a chance, being afraid to just express themselves in through whatever it is they want to express themselves through. So I realized one morning, I don't know what I was doing, but I had this insight that maybe we don't have to be quite so on guard all the time. Maybe we don't have to guard our actions and our speech as much as we can work with what we understand and what we think about after that action occurs. So let's say I was in a bad mood and I went out to see some of my friends and I was dismissive and yucky and paid no attention to them or said something very curt and terse that shut them down and made them feel awful about themselves. So I come home again, or I'm on the drive home. I'm starting to analyze what I did. Why did I do that? Um, and I could spend ages and ages of time going over the conversations. So I'm in this self-analysis and I'm driving along, getting deeper and deeper and deeper into the thoughts that I did something that was inappropriate, or I'm trying to make myself believe that someone else drew that out of me and said something that justified what I was going to say. And what if that's not really the point? Perhaps we can evaluate things and we can understand the feelings that brought us to a certain, way of expressing ourselves so that we bypass the requirement that we have to have a negatively affected karmic moment. So karma can really just be seen as your conscience. If you don't understand something, then you create situations in which something else, some other earth energy, some other power, someone else's higher self is going to tell you that you got it wrong, that you didn't do that appropriately. But if we can look at it without self-blame, without blaming anyone else, but just come to understand that I feel like I wasn't in my own integrity there. I feel like I wasn't in my version of love for self and for other. I feel that I wasn't connected into that canopy of divine awareness and understanding. Then we don't have to have any sort of negative lesson. It doesn't have to happen to us. We have worked on it. We've taken our hearts and our minds and our actions to a place where everything is flowing again. Everything is circulating with presence rather than circulating with a fear of being judged and punished for something, or pushing something away so that we don't look at it in its fullness. So I like this new feeling that we're all in charge of what some of what happens to us karmically. That we can work with ourselves and work with the situations that we find around ourselves, that we invite to ourselves, and that we create in order to learn how to be more clear, more sort of precise isn't really the word, but to have phenomenal spiritual hygiene, phenomenal awareness of who we are and what our actions create. Do you know what I mean, Christina?
I mean, I definitely, I'm understanding what you're sharing, where my mind goes is so, for example, you gave the example of an event, and this event occurred with another individual or other individuals. And when we leave that event, we are, manifesting what has happened and sort of going through the steps as you shared. Now, for us as an individual to come to terms or to an understanding of our own integrity, etc., that is, for me, one side of the equation. And I do believe that how we manifest within ourselves, with love and kindness, etc., emanates forward. I mean, it just is, right? How is it that the action that was taken earlier in the evening, for example, has taken place? We are, as an individual, is creating or going through the awareness that you have just shared. What happens to the other party or the other parties that were involved? Because it was that original beginning to create the space that we're in now, how do we bring it all within balance with the others that were also involved? Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. And there are a couple of ways to look at it. The first part of it is to know that you can only take charge of what happens for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you are able to be aware of what your part in whatever, discerning experience happened. And you can do something about how you feel about it and what you want to learn within yourself about it. You can also, by clearing your statements within that, with clearing your energetic, by opening your energetic to a different way of looking at things, you allow whatever the other person's involvement was to shift if they are ready to do that. But it's up to them whether they catch on to this, whether they stop the self-analysis if it's happening, and or whether there's ever any interaction or conversation between the two of you about it. In other words, the universe is going to support your the way you unfold it for yourself. And the universe is going to love you unconditionally, no matter whether you get it or don't get it. It doesn't matter. You are still held in love. You are still guided with love. You are still in the same love vessel that this existence is with whoever else you were in that interaction with. And sometimes just that, whatever step that we take, whatever stage that we're at, by knowing that that love is always reciprocal, it's always cycling with all of us in it, that can change things, and that can change the need for any karmic sort of not discipline, but understanding or action to have to be taken. And one other thing I want to say about karma is that this is not, we're not having something imposed upon us. When we've done something that there's going to be a reciprocal, reaction to or event over. We are not being punished by God or the angels or anything else. All that's happening is that we are being drawn into, if we're aware of it, drawn into a greater state of love from which we can then decide what we will do with what we are learning. Okay? So it's using the word punishment isn't accurate, because karma is just understanding that exchange. The exchange of all energies. Does that help you enough with the idea of what happens to the other people involved?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Anatara, for that clarity. With the way I was hearing, I could see how an individual might take what is being said to say, oh, it's only one-sided, and if I can do this, everything is okay. Karmically.
No.
Do you see where it can go the other extreme, where, oh, I can clear my karma just by doing this, but it's much deeper, and that's the point that I wanted to
For sure.
For you to explain, that there's a depth to all this. It's not just I can clear it for myself. Well, c'est la vie, everyone, my karma is cleared. You all fend for yourself, So your explanation and the way you articulate it is beautiful, where it is about how we continue to be aware, and one drop is 1,000 waves, right? So as we begin to shift, and as we begin to emanate this and be more conscious about our actions, and I believe that if we are actually coming from a loving place from our heart, how others might perceive certain things is how they perceive it. But if truly it's from our heart and it's from a good place, that in itself is so powerful. Oops, sorry about that. We're ringing.
Okay.
The angels are speaking.
Someone has another message for us.
There you go. So, yes, I think this is a really lovely, fresh look at karma.
because it's always, that's what we hear is like, oh, be careful what you do. It's always be careful what you do. You will be punished for
Well,
it. So I
it
love your
works with
take on
kids
this.
sometimes.
Say again.
I said it works with kids sometimes to help them evaluate where they're at. But the perspective that we've just been talking about is what I share with kids.
Yeah.
Let's analyze whatever you've just done and see what it means to you, right?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, and it might be a little deep for them, but somewhere in that little brain, they get it.
No,
They
you
get
can
it.
make
They
it. You
bring it
can make
with.
it real. You can make it real in the moment.
Oh yes,
And
yes,
I
lovely.
just don't like I just don't think that we need to walk around with the idea that there is some massive body of something that can
Mm,
punish us.
mm,
That's just not helpful. It
mm-hmm.
just isn't helpful. And so there's a big, and I do understand traditionally what karma means, but there's a big bully up there that's going to punish me if I get something wrong. So it's far more helpful to have that evaluation happening.
Mm, mm. Yeah, karma, our life's lessons. Well, thank you so much, Anatara, for this wonderful moment you've shared with us. We love and appreciate what you bring to YHTV. And of course, we'd love to thank each and every one of you for joining us and supporting us on this journey. We hope that you or a loved one has benefited from this show, and we continue to support each other through our life's journeys. Now, you can connect with Anatara on Twitter at Anatara, and on Facebook, she is the Master Intuitive. And I do believe on her website, anatara.ca, anatara.ca. So we look forward to being with you again on our next show, and with you too, Anatara, and bringing you more of what you can share with others and just move and help you move forward in your life. Thank you so much from us here at Yoga Hub. Namaste.